Welcome to Waywut, your weekly verbal double take. This is a rabbit hole podcast where a couple of old guys do moderate to shallow dives into various topics, ranging from true crime, paranormal, sports, pop culture, or anything else that we find interesting. We drop episodes every Tuesday and on Fridays if we feel like it. You can follow us on Facebook, X, and TikTok. We appreciate you joining us. And now that we got all this self promotion stuff out of the way, here we go. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Waywut. My name is Darrell. I will be today's host, supreme, primary host, guru. And along with me is the grand donkey do of the Boomerati, Jason.
Put that on a business card.
Yeah. Figure if you're going to give yourself a dumb title, I might as well do something fun with it.
Hell yeah. Like, print them up.
Yeah. And for any of you first time listeners, that's a callback joke. And if you want to understand it, then please, by all means, go back and binge all of our old episodes.
Yeah. I'm sure I referenced Donkey Doo at least once.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Just excuse the bad recording equipment from back then and all of Jason's gross ass mouth noises.
Yes. We have learned.
All right. Well, I'm going to start today with a sociological rant.
All right. I love your rants.
It gives me a nice way to, pad the length of the show. Now, I've mentioned before that whenever I was younger, I wanted to study gorillas. But once I figured out that I'd get too emotionally attached to them, I was like, oh, no, I can't do that because, scientists can't be emotionally attached to what they're studying.
True.
It's for that exact opposite reason that I considered becoming a sociologist.
Study people.
Yeah. I have no problem being emotionally detached about people at all.
Yeah.
I mean, that was until I took Intro to Sociology in college, and I found like all of my classmates and the professor were far too sensitive and emotional in that course. I mean, I get being emotionally attached to getting easily emotionally attached to like animals, more than you do people, because that's what we all do. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of always assumed that people that were really interested in sociology would be able to have a detached clinical observation of humanity,
kind of like being a doctor. You kind of
and I found it very, very appealing to study and observe people with zero attachment. But once I got in there, everybody was very soft and squishy and super just thinking about feelings and stuff. And it's like, ooh, gross. No, we're not supposed to talk about feelings.
Yeah.
That's what psychologists do. Mm-hmm. I mean, could you imagine studying people in the worst possible situations, like a war or a devastating natural disaster?
Oh, yeah. Catch them in their worst spot ever.
Actually, you would see people at their best, I think, like people like using, their last breath to save a baby.
Well, either way, yeah. Either at the best or at the worst.
Yeah, well, and then you would also see them at the worst,
or their true character.
Yeah, they would eat that baby that somebody else saved just to make sure that they didn't starve.
Yeah. This is the end.
That baby.
Yeah. We've all seen this at the end. What happened to Danny McBride's character?
Ah, God. That movie was overrated. Channing Tatum was the best part. Everything else about it was stupid. Well, I like Craig Robinson. I liked him. All right. Well, you could also study people at their weirdest. Like, remember back when Walmart was open 24 hours a day?
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Always had something to do.
No, and I loved going there at like 4 o'clock in the morning. I mean,
Uh-huh.
where else could you see a 400-pound woman wearing a sexy bitch shirt while driving a mobility scooter in the adult diaper section? I mean, that whole time, her tiny, well-dressed husband is just following her around with a cart full of Jesus candles. You know,
Yeah.
you don't get that, just anywhere. I mean, maybe at Dollar General during the daytime. I don't think they have mobility scooters there because
No.
they have too many obstructions where they just leave boxes all over the aisles
Good
and shit.
grief. You ain't lying about that. There's nowhere to go in Dollar General.
No, it's like anytime you go in there, you're going to lose some weight because it's like an American Gladiators obstacle course.
Uh-huh.
Or you can go to just any airport and study people at their most annoying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I just had the opportunity to study this when I was flying back to Dallas from Denver. You know, got my nice little course hat while I was up there. All right, and just the journey back home at 4:30 in the morning. It was an early flight. I still managed to encounter some of the most annoying, freaking just. Ugh, I don't really like airport people. Anyway, so the first thing that got me, or at least nearly got me, was a woman that didn't know how to use an escalator with a suitcase.
Oh,
Yeah. I was behind this lady that had her suitcase on the same step as her. And me being polite, I made sure we had a 3-step buffer between us. I'm not going to, be like the one step and have my nose in her ass crack or anything. 3 steps. When she reached the top, she stepped, off the escalator. She stepped away from the escalator, but she left her suitcase in front of the escalator. My fat ass had to hurdle the damn thing.
and that wasn't easy.
No, I was tired and I'm fat.
And you had your own suitcase.
And what's worse is there was a second escalator immediately after, and I was behind her again. This time, I gave her a 4-step buffer. She did the same damn thing, and I had to jump over it again.
What's wrong with this lady?
Yeah. Well, if you want
So
to
you
know,
mean she's dropping it? Like,
no, she's holding on to it, but she's leaving it in front of the actual escalator part. She steps out of the way because she knows when you get off the escalator, you don't just stop and stand there like a moron. But she forgot that she has this fucking 2-foot long thing sticking out of her arm that she left behind her.
people are starring in their own movies, man.
Well, after studying this woman for 2 escalator trips, I find in all likelihood she was an only child, not well traveled, and is ignored by her significant other since she obviously thinks she is completely alone and unseen. See, sociology can be fun.
Uh-huh.
The next laboratory exercise on this airport trip was conducted in the bathroom.
Oh, my.
No, it wasn't that kind of airport exercise. No, no. I just no, one of those like, oh, tap your feet. Hey, yeah.
Hey,
No,
need
no,
some toilet
no.
paper over there?
Here, I'll put it right around this. No, okay. For those of you that just listening, I was making a reference like I was putting a toilet paper roll on my penis. Anyway, well, I mean, you got to paint a picture with words.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Uh, Now, I make sure to empty my bladder before boarding a flight
Yes.
because once I get sat down, I don't really want to get up. I like the window seat and I don't want to have to jump over people to get there. And then honestly, it drives me nuts because they always tell you don't stand in line and wait for the bathroom, but people do it anyways. And if you
Yep.
don't, you'll never get to pee. So
Yep.
just pee before I get on the plane.
All right. Quick question. When you get up, and if you do have to get up, whether it's in a stadium, airport, or whatever, you give the people you have to pass in front of the butt or the crotch?
Oh, that is a good question. It varies. It varies from person to person. Uh, I honestly am more likely to hit somebody if I turn my back to them, and not because I have a big ass. I got your typical middle aged white man flat ass, but
Big mushy butt.
Facing them, I can like suck my gut in, and I can sit there and watch them.
Yeah.
And I feel less bad about bumping people with my ass on the back of their head than I would about giving them like my butthole on their nose or something.
Just
You
that
know,
little waft right in
yeah,
that.
because I
Just
mean, I can control. I can, I've made it a point not to just randomly touch people with my dick for a long time, so I've gotten pretty good at that. Do
or
you
have
have a
you?
preference?
I usually try to do the front as well for
Yeah,
basically the same reasons. You can
yeah,
see where they're at, where they're
better
trying to move. They
control.
get out of your way.
Yeah, and fuck
But
the people on the road in front of you. They have better seats. Fuck them.
yeah, you kind of get an idea of what your crotch smells like every once in a while. You have no idea what your ass smells like. So
Yeah.
that's my reasoning.
Well, great. Now I'm going to stay up all night thinking about that. Thanks.
Well, just thought I would ask that question, throw it in out there. All right,
Okay.
bringing it back down. Here we go.
All right. So while in the bathroom, a young man exited the stall and immediately went to the paper towel dispenser. This guy commenced blowing his nose with his shitty hands. That's pretty gross, but it's his nose and his pink eye. What do I care? His decision. I finished my business. I began washing my hands, and while this kid's just sitting there, I say kid, he was like early 20s, sitting there just blowing in his nose. And then once he finishes, freshly covering his nose with shit, he exits the bathroom without washing his hands. All right, so I mean, I'll admit I have a problem with this anywhere, but whenever you're about to be in close quarters with people, you know. So after I screamed internally, I dried my hands and I left the bathroom and I saw the young guy going towards the gate next to mine. Yeah, I was like, oh gosh. Until I kept seeing him walk and he sat down by my gate.
Oh no.
I then spent the next 30 minutes praying to every god I could think of to make sure that this guy did not sit next to me on this plane.
Touching all up on your armrest and just getting all on your space.
I mean, oh god.
Use your air turned on. Let me help you.
Yeah.
Pull that window down.
Well, the fact that I'm here to talk about it now should tell you that my prayers were answered and I did not die from shitty stranger hand disease. Although I was still trapped in a giant pressurized recycled air can with his shitty hands. Which,
Yep. I'm
yeah,
sure you rubbed down the aisle as he was walking down it.
Well, it's Southwest, and for those of you who don't fly Southwest, at least for the next 14 months, it is, first come, first serve on seating. You don't have assigned seats. They will in 2026.
Good.
I had like position A30. So I was,
nice.
And on top of that, it wasn't a full flight. So I made the choice. I went all the way back, second to last row, and in all hopes that I would just have the whole row to myself. And I did. It was worth sitting at the back of the plane and waiting for every single idiot in the world that doesn't understand how to get off of a plane to do that. But whatever. That's another study for another time. So the laboratory conclusion on this subject. He was raised by feral hogs or hoarders. Filth is part of his reality, and he is unaware of the disgusted looks that follow him. Yeah, so it's pretty simple on him. He's not fully human.
Well,
yeah.
Some people are just never taught, or they don't think I didn't get snot or shit on my hands, so I don't need to wash them.
I don't know. He was like 6 foot something, big tall dude, and he was there with like what I assume is his dad or sugar daddy, one or the other. But yeah,
maybe he had hand sanitizer.
That's great. Then you got rid of the bacteria of the shit that's still on your hands. That doesn't clean your hands. It just kills the bacteria on the stuff that's on your hands. You still have shit on your hands.
I agree. I don't know.
All right. Well, my final sociological conclusion from this recent study is that I'm a very good sheeple, and I can stay quiet when somebody violates the norms of the flock because I don't want to disrupt the flock.
Huh?
Yeah, I got a little bit more self-reflective than I wanted to on that. I was just like, wait a minute. I like it whenever I'm herded nicely. It's like, hey, just let me be herded where I needed to be
Yeah,
herded.
just
I'm
make
like,
everything easy. Get
oh
me where I
God,
need to go.
I am a total sheeple. All right, well, let's change the subject and talk about the really weird airport I was at during all of that. Denver International Airport. I
Yes.
honestly, I think it's like a rite of passage that any content creation, whether it's YouTube videos or podcasts, has to do an episode at some point on
Yes,
Denver International Airport.
they have to.
Um, I go to Denver quite a lot, so I've been at that airport, plenty of times, and it's not my favorite airport. It is too damn big. Um, but we'll get to that.
And many times that I've been to Colorado, I have only been at the airport one time, and it was with you on a
When we were
layover.
flying back from Vegas, yeah,
Yeah. I
yep.
like the drive to Colorado. It's very boring through Texas, but once you hit that part of Colorado, it's absolutely breathtaking.
Well, I'll be going back there pretty soon, and then I'm definitely going again next year because I'm go up there at least every year. All right. Located about 25 miles outside of Denver, this airport is the largest by land area in the entire Western Hemisphere. It is 1.5 times the size of Manhattan. And you feel it when you fly Southwest because they land you in Gate C. And I mean, it's a long freaking walk. I mean, you got to go, especially if it's far back in Gate C, because then you have to use all those little moving sidewalks to get to the tram. You have to go through like three stops. It's on the third stop that you get to baggage claim. And by the time you get there, your bag's waiting for you. This is the only airport I know of where your bag is waiting for you
Yeah,
on the carousel whenever you get there.
it is a long walk.
It's super long.
You
Yeah,
actually have to use those walking stair or walking treadmill things, whatever you're talking about.
no, I mean it's one of those things where it makes me want to gain more weight so I could request a mobility scooter. That or start carrying like a walking cast and with me whenever I go there, so I can just have like some
Oh,
sky cap push me the entire way.
that's not a bad idea.
Yeah. All right. Well, after 5 or 6 years on political stuff and money stuff and boring stuff, they uh, they broke ground in 1989. So they were trying to get this, for 5 or 6 years, and there are all sorts of crap that I don't feel like going over. Where people are like, "Oh no, where are we going to get the money? Oh no, I'm mayor. Whatever. Who cares?" It was open in 1995 after a flubbed opening in 1994. So
Oops.
yeah, they had an oopsie. The flubbed opening seems like it would be interesting or entertaining, but it boiled down to this futuristic baggage system that didn't work, and they never got it to work. They officially gave up on trying to make it work in 2005. And so instead of a computer throwing your bags around with total disregard, you, you know, of your personal property, they use an underpaid person just like every other airport to just throw your
Oh,
shit around.
so they
It's
tried
like
to use a computerized one that went haywire.
it just didn't work.
No, you remember that scene on Monsters Inc. when he was running through the no, that the airport part and the
What are
luggage
you?
part. Maybe I'm thinking of a different movie.
You thinking of the
It's
doors?
thinking of the doors. You're right. My bad. I'm sorry.
You should be. That was terrible.
It's the same thing as a
I'm going
bunch
to
of
put
shit
you in
moving
timeout.
everywhere.
I want you to look at the timer, and you're not allowed to talk for 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Oh,
You're in the penalty box for 2 minutes for that.
okay.
Just going
Uh,
nowhere bullshit you just did.
Okay. Well, after that 2 minutes, I'm going to come out ahead and make a beeline right towards you.
All right. Well, in a nutshell, it's a huge airport that is fairly young in airport years. The reason why I'm talking about this airport is because it's the only one that I'm aware of that is the center of tons of different conspiracy theories. Now, we'll start with the base of like every conspiracy theory, or seemingly every conspiracy theory, the Freemasons. Within the airport, there is a time capsule that's encased in stone. It was dedicated and laid by Freemasons. Therefore, the Freemason symbol is on it. People that are Freemasons, they did it. So yeah, they put their symbol on it. Makes sense. It's nothing crazy. Gotcha. The part that chaps the ass of the conspiracy people is the part on the stone that says New World Airport Commission. New World anything sparks thoughts of New World Order, and that's a trigger phrase for the folks that make it their life's work to not trust anybody in power.
Yep.
Yeah,
Or
anytime
they
they're
think
like,
of Hollywood Hogan.
only if they're. Has it been 2 minutes? It has not been 2 minutes.
I'm sorry.
No,
It was a line I had to say.
no, you get one more. That was another bad joke.
Come on. That was a good one.
No, it
Everybody
was
knows who the
not.
NWO
No, they don't.
Oh,
No.
well, they should.
Oh my god. That New World stuff, it causes such a stir. Like the newest Captain America movie that's supposed to be coming out soon, they changed it from New World Order to Brave New World because conspiracy people started losing their damn minds.
Well, I do have a question about the time capsule. Is it stuff from
I'll
the
get to
original
it.
opening? Okay,
I'll get to it. God damn.
just
Two more
asking a
minutes.
question.
2 more minutes. Tweet. 2 minutes. Now, those conspiracy people, I wasn't being very accurate whenever I said that it's their life's work to not trust people in power. It's actually that they don't trust the real people in power that are the puppet masters of the people that appear to be in power. Because they all want to reset society and make us all go back to the Stone Age where they're like kings in a castle and we're all peons working in the fields. According to, like those people. Not me. I don't think that.
No.
I don't think that at all. Uh, it is said that the person that thought of that commission's name was an arts advocate, and it is in reference to some classical musical thing. That's it. They're just kind of like, oh, I want something that sounds fancy. This sounds fancy. This is from this song. I dug it.
Yeah, who's going to fact check that?
I mean, that's just what whenever they interviewed the person that came up with the inscription.
That's what I
I
mean.
read
There's
it.
so many classical songs out there. Who's going to ever find it?
No, it was more specific. I just didn't write it down because I don't care.
Oh, okay.
Because much like Hollywood Hogan, I know our audience is gonna be like, "Oh yes, it's Sonata D3 by blah 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 Percaccini." I don't waste time talking about stupid shit that nobody's gonna care about.
Hey, you never know. These people
Oh,
may know this stuff.
the time capsule is supposed to be opened in 2094, so we still got another 70 years. It is said to have the following very mysterious items inside of it: coins, a signed baseball, the mayor's tennis shoes, and some casino chips. Woo! So,
Interesting.
yeah, I mean, it seems like the kind of, diabolical things that Freemasons would tuck away in a stone box.
A question about time capsules.
Okay.
If they're usually sent out for hundreds, 150 years to be opened or whatever, where
Just
are the instructions left to know where
generally
to
on
open it?
generally on the outside of it.
Okay, so it's usually left in a place where people know there's
Yeah.
a time capsule
Whenever
underneath
they
here.
bury it, they make a big deal about burying it. There's a ceremony and they talk about it. There's articles and then they leave instructions behind.
Okay.
All right. Well, out of all the conspiracy theories, this one's the mildest because it mainly just fuels a lot of the other ones to come. It says New World, there's Freemasons, and then all the other ones just kind of spawn off the back of this like a mogwai. But I didn't want to, bring up Freemasons any other time later in this, and everybody be like, "Why is he bringing up Freemasons?" Well, this is why. They kind of left their signature chiseled in stone on this. You know,
Nice little Gremlins reference, by the way.
oh yeah, no problem. All right, the big hot topic for the conspiracy folks is the tunnels beneath the Denver International Airport. Good lord, learn to talk, Darrell. Slow down. Woosah.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah, Denver International Airport. I might just flip to just calling it DIA like the locals. Before the airport was even finished being built, these tunnels caught the eye of a lot of people. The first red flag was that the job went over $2 billion over budget.
Damn.
Yeah, no, that
What a
is just,
shitty estimate.
well, it's worse than just like, oh, $2 billion. Like if it was if it was a $10 billion budget and went 2 billion over, okay, like it went 20% over. That's not the case here. It is $2 billion over a $2.8 billion budget. So it went almost 75% over budget.
Oh my gosh.
Now, construction workers described building miles and miles of tunnels on the build site, but not just normal tunnels that work like a big long basement, that's like a maze or something. It's stated that there are 6 floors of tunnels that essentially resemble underground buildings.
Oh, like a fallout shelter, but a city.
I don't know. Let's see. It is said that the tunnel buildings were built and there was some screw up. Like they were like, "Oh no, we messed up," and so they'd mess up tunnels and they just build on top instead of demolishing them, and that they'd bury them, they'd build on top of them. Because they were trying to like what have so many layers of tunnels. Uh, Others say it's a bunker for the bigwigs.
Huh.
Yeah,
Kind of like in Kingsman.
kinda. Yes, yes. The airport says, it's a really large airport and the tunnels are for moving luggage and travel between terminals. But there is another theory that says the tunnels travel 100 miles to NORAD in the Cheyenne Mountains. The North American Aerospace Defense Command is the organization that monitors our airspace for nuke attacks and probably alien attacks too. I mean, they're watching the skies for anything that's going to try to come out of the sky and hurt America. Now, why would anybody want to build tunnels from an airport to NORAD? People believe that this is where the real bunker for the president and the elite is hiding, where they tucked that away. NORAD is designed for a nuclear attack. So it makes sense for it to be designed to still function following an attack. It's like, we got to figure it out. We need to be here in case it explodes. So it's in mountains,
It's still in
lots of like,
Colorado.
uh, yes, yes, it
Okay.
is. Um,
And it makes sense as a strategical standpoint. That's pretty much kind of dead center in the United States
yeah, keeps them away from the coast and all that.
and protected by the mountains.
The theory got some traction for its believers in 2011 when the comet Elenin came especially close to Earth. Barack Obama was president at the time and just happened to be in Denver while that comet was getting close to Earth. Some people felt that he was staying close in case he needed to run for cover.
In case we get an Independence Day.
Yeah, since you can't get much more underground than under mountains, if there's going to be an elite bunker, it's where I would expect it to be. You don't want to put it in sand. You want that stuff under like just dense ass rock.
Uh-huh. Makes sense.
Out of all the theories that I'll be touching on, I honestly find this one the most plausible. I mean, it's a central spot. You could have all the rich people fly from all the different places into this giant airport that's going to have room for them because it's a giant friggin' airport. Haul them off under the mountains. They get to eat their caviar and watch the poor people burn.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. All right. We'll go ahead and start working on some crazier ones now, such as the reports of people seeing lizard people in the tunnels. They're
Lizard people.
back.
So they're everywhere.
Now, I'm guessing these aren't the lizard people other conspiracy theory people talk about that like shapeshift to look like normal monkey people. Where it's like, oh yeah, no, they look just like humans, but they got cold blood and they can shapeshift. Okay. My understanding is that these are humanoid lizards living underground and doing whatever lizard Illuminati things that they do. Uh, I'm thinking that's probably stuff like making sure McDonald's never does Szechuan sauce ever again. Something along those lines.
Was it that bad?
No, I liked it. It was that good. It's just the other Rick and Morty fans ruined it. I
I don't
liked
know
it.
if I tried it.
I liked it. Um, there are people that also speculate that these tunnels are for covering labs for bioweapons. I'd imagine you'd probably want those underground,
Yes.
especially like 6 floors underground. So
Yeah.
you don't have some sort of, I don't know, man made virus sweep across the planet, causing people to stay home and watch every streaming service for a year, only to try to relieve the monotony with random Tinder hookups just to experience some human contact
Man.
or just something like that.
Something.
Yeah. You know, I'm just,
Sounded oddly specific, though.
I'm just spitballing. I mean, if I was going to do like bio stuff, that's what I would want it deep underground too.
Yeah, makes sense.
But
Contain the contamination.
then again, I don't know. Here's the other thing: it's like people like, well, you wouldn't want it under an airport where there's lots of people. But if you want it to spread, you do.
Yeah.
But I don't know why they'd want to spread it on themselves unless it's just to sterilize all the poor people.
Yeah, it was spread the vaccination.
I don't know. Maybe. All right. Well, moving on to another aspect that grabs the attention of people concerned about DIA is the airport's choice in art. Not gonna lie, some of it's pretty friggin' weird. There are gargoyle statues in the baggage claim area, and they're sitting in open suitcases.
Just
Yeah.
weird.
For those of you watching, here's a picture of. I took a selfie with one. And I guess for you people that just listen, I could put something in the description or whatever if you really want to see me making a funny face next to a weird gargoyle statue. It'll be
It's
there.
odd.
It is weird.
Gargoyles just only appear on castles or
Yeah.
at Halloween.
I thought you were there for a second. I thought you were talking about my face was the odd thing because I was
Oh
making
no.
I was making a weird face. Some of it is mysterious. There are some mosaics that are surrounded by peculiar symbols, which, according to the airport, they are Navajo symbols to represent the Navajo people that used to inhabit Colorado. According to the people that don't believe a damn thing they said, say they're mystical or occult symbols.
What does the Navajo people say?
I don't know. I know that I personally don't know because I can't read Navajo. But Navajo people didn't build it. So, I never saw any comments from Navajo people. I guess whenever I was driving through Arizona and I stopped in the Navajo Nation stuff for like their gift shops and their fry bread, I should have asked them, "Hey, what does this mean at this airport?" You
Mm,
know,
fry bread. Oh
and they're
boy.
like, "I don't know, just buy the fucking keychain and go."
Take your fry bread. Hell yes. It is good shit.
Yes, it is. Some of the art is damn scary. There is one that actually gave me the heebie-jeebies well before I even read anything about it. Picture this: younger Darrell, he was in his 30s, flying into Denver for the first time. And as he's walking through the terminal, he sees a huge mural that has a Nazi looking guy in a gas mask trying to cut a kid with a giant sword. Ain't gonna lie, it is unsettling. And spoilers, It isn't even the scariest thing there.
Question about this picture: is it like in a prominent place, like they're showing it off, or is it
It
you have to
is
go find it?
it I stumbled across it, but it is not like in any of the central things. You're not going to just pass it walking past all the Hudson shops or getting on the tram or anything like that. This one was in a hallway, and I can't even remember how I just remember seeing it and being like, "Dear Christ, what the hell am I looking at?"
I took a wrong turn.
Yeah. The mural is called Children of the World Dream of Peace, and it is technically two parts. I only ever saw the first part with the Nazi guy and the sword and the gun and the blown up building and all the miserable, crap happening, kid about to get killed. The second part of the mural, that's in a different spot, shows the scary Nazi guy on the ground and the kids from all over the world using his sword to plow the ground. So it has a happy ending. But I never
Okay.
knew that until I saw it on the internet. Then
Now,
I was
how far are
so
these pictures apart?
they aren't next to each other. That's for damn sure.
That's what I'm saying. Leave people wondering, like you said.
I know. I don't think it would have made me feel any better though, because honestly, the guy's art style is very off-putting, and that first one is still just jarring. Other people don't like the happy ending mural because they feel it has some new world order connotations. Destroy everything and start over, then everyone will be happy. That kind of crap. I actually see it being more anti-war, and most things I read said that that's what the artist was going for, was saying, war's bad. Either way, I still hate the scary Nazi mural.
It's just still an odd thing to put in an airport.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a lot of weird stuff. The final one isn't so much the final piece of art isn't so much a conspiracy, but honestly, it just freaks me out. Blue Mustang is a 32-foot tall fiberglass sculpture outside of the airport. It
Uh,
was it was sculpted by Luis Jimenez. The sculptor, Luis, was killed by the sculpture while he was making it.
good Lord.
They were hoisting up a part of it whenever a piece of it came loose and pinned him against a steel support beam. This severed an artery in his leg, and he bled to death on the floor of his studio.
Wow.
Yeah, the sculpture had to be completed by his family and his staff that he had working for him.
Oh,
Yeah,
I guess
it's
he had blueprints for it already,
oh
or
yeah, no,
an idea of what to do.
well yeah, because it's a feat of engineering. You can't just sit there and fucking wing it. It's a 32-foot tall statue. It's terribly sad that this man got killed while assembling his sculpture. But once you see the damn thing, it's just terrifying. The piece, as I said, called Blue Mustang. Uh,
Is there another name for it too?
I was about to say it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
The low. Why do you keep trying to jump ahead?
I'm not. I'm just
Good.
excited about the topic. I'm just excited.
Well, I'm not gonna say it. All right. The locals call it Lucifer. The
Love
locals
it.
call. The first time I saw it, it was in the daylight. And I was like, oh my gosh, what a very angry and mean looking devil horse. That thing is freaky looking. But then I saw it at night and I was like, oh my God, I think I shit myself. If you don't feel like Googling it, picture this in your head: Satan in horse form, painted blue, 32 feet tall, with fucking glowing red eyes.
Yes, it's very disturbing.
Yeah. Uh, I'll get a picture. I'll put it up in the video here so
Yeah.
video people can see it. Although I'm pretty sure they've all seen it, but still,
Either way, gotta take a look at it.
yeah. It was said that the artist did this because his father had a neon shop in Mexico, and that the glowing neon red eyes, was a tribute to his father. It would be sweet if I wasn't sure it was summoning horse demons from hell.
I always thought it was like gems or something. I didn't know he was neon light.
No, it is neon lights,
Oh,
bright red. Now, while I was in Denver with this recently, I was with my wife, and she started reading. She found that there are Google reviews for Lucifer. So I'm going to borrow something from Leroy, the host of Excuse Me, That's Illegal, and I'm going to read some Google reviews,
all right.
just a couple. Here's a 5-star review for Lucifer from someone named Dan Kesterson. Lucifer is an icon. It is a unique and powerful warning to all who pass beneath his gaze. It is the sentinel guarding the secret tunnels of DIA. It's a tribute to the artist that created it. It is everything and nothing. Is it evil? Probably. Do the eyes glow at night? Yes. Is it anatomically correct? Absolutely. It does have horse cock and balls. Should it be removed? Never.
It's a
So
great
that's a
review.
that's a 5-star review. Here's a 1-star review from a person named Daniel E. This city, state, and country need to repent and get right with God while there's still time. That's kind of the gist of all the 1-star reviews. It's all like, this is the devil's work. Apparently, they don't have that much of a say so because the overall score is 4.4. So the people like the devil horse more than they don't like the devil horse.
Mhm.
So it's apparently building up its army successfully.
Now, is this obviously is located outside, but is it like displayed like they're proud of it? Like
Yeah,
walk
dude,
into a parking lot and there it is, or
you
is
can actually no. They will not let you park anywhere. There's no places for you to park and go approach it. But you will pass it on the way in and you will pass it on the way out.
okay?
Period. There's no way to exit or enter that airport without being in shooting distance of Lucifer's devil laser eyes.
Like Land Before, or what's the movie? Never Ending Story when Atreyu tried to pass those big statues with the lasers coming out of them.
Yes, except I think he does that if you say he'll zap you if you say that you don't like green chili or you don't like the Broncos or John Elway. It's like, if you're like, I hate John Elway, he'll
Yeah.
zap you.
To hell with the Coors Light.
Uh, Coors Original, I hate Coors Light. Coors Light's the worst beer, one of the worst beers ever made.
I'm just
Coors
saying it's made
Original,
in Colorado.
all
Yeah.
day. Banquet all the way. Uh, well, how let's take a look at how the airport handles this kind of attention because there's a couple ways they could go with it. Some places would just be big old fuddy duddies about it and just like ignore it. Admirably enough, they steer directly into it. They
Why
took it.
not?
They ran. The gargoyle sculptures I mentioned earlier in the baggage claim area that sit inside of the suitcase, they doubled down on that and they made a talking gargoyle statue that would welcome people to the headquarters of the Illuminati.
Might as well.
When they have construction or renovation, they have how like you'll have like that big wall that'll be usually say like coming soon,
Terminal E.
yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. Theirs say things along the lines of they're building a new lair for lizard people or aliens, or it'll be posed as a question like, what do you think we're building? A new Sparrow. B, a lizard people lair. C, alien laboratory. Something along those lines. It's pretty
Why
funny.
not? Yeah. Lean into it.
When they've had press down in the tunnels to, just kind of show off the extensive tunnel system, some of the staff would wear lizard masks while they were down there, like driving the luggage carts.
Just to freak people out even more. Love
Yeah.
it.
In October 2016, the airport declared it Conspiracy Month and had exhibits with fake alien skulls and just weird stuff like that. Kind of like almost like a gas station museum inside of an airport.
Was this airport known for having lots of layovers? Like
Uh,
a lot of people flying in there to go fly into somewhere else.
it does happen, but it's still not. I don't think it's quite as busy as. I know it's not as busy as Atlanta because Atlanta is the most busiest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they measure up with DFW because DFW is also one of the busiest airports in the country.
Yeah.
So uh, I don't know. I just know land wise, it's friggin' huge. It's huge. The
Maybe the
airport
biggest.
people, they're good people. Anyway, sorry. No, I'll stop doing that impersonation.
It's a pretty good
Uh,
one, by the way.
thank you. Uh, it's super funny that they do this, but at the same time, it also makes me suspicious. It reminds me of like, whenever, say you're a kid and like your older cousin or older brother like takes a toy from you and you're like, "Hey, you stole my toy." And then your older brother or older cousin's all like, "Yeah, I stole your toy." And you're like, "Yeah, you did. Give it back." And they're like, "Oh yeah, cuz I totally stole your toy." I think they're kind of doing the same thing. We're like, "You've got some shady shit happening." And they're like, "Yeah, it's totally shady. Look at our fake alien skulls and look at our gargoyles." What about that lab coat person that's going down that mysterious elevator? Yeah, totally a lab person, whatever.
Yeah, he's part
Did
of the
this
show.
did Air Force One just like park in a secret hangar? Oh yeah. So I'm on to you, DIA. I don't know whether it's aliens, Illuminati, or whatever, but I know you're up to something. You can't gaslight me.
Yeah, when there's that many
All right, well
conspiracy
there you
theories
have it.
about one single location.
Yeah, right there. All right, that'll do it for America's weirdest airport that may or may not be involved in any number of things. I hope you enjoyed it because I'm certain that my research on this got me on some sort of government list. Not
Twice.
that Jason already did that with freaking
Yes.
Conspiracy Corner, but oh well. Fly from Denver to California, go see Mount Shasta, and tell us in the comments how many lizard aliens and Lemurians you see once you get back.
Yeah.
If you
Or
get back.
take a picture of the gargoyle. Let's see it.
I've already taken a picture. They should take pictures of Lucifer right
Ooh,
before
yeah.
it blasts them to hell. Or,
That'd be pretty cool. Not the whole
whatever.
blasting to hell part, but
I want to see your Colorado aliens. All right. Well, join us next time when Jason finally sheds his human skin to show us his lizard form, or he'll just tell us some stuff that will make us say, "Wait, what? Wait, what?" Is that better?
what? Yep.
All right. That'll do it. Bye.
All right. Later.
Thank you for joining us for Wait, What? If you would, tell your friends or your enemies that they can watch us on YouTube or Rumble. And if you don't want to see our face or if they don't want to see our faces, you can listen to us on your preferred audio platform. That's Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Pandora, you name it. We're probably on there. Please like, review, and comment on whatever platform you joined us on today. We'd appreciate that a ton. Again, just thank you for listening and watching, and we hope you'll join us next time, and we'll make you say, "Wait, what?"